That is where we are today because of our work. Iran is isolated, its leadership divided and under pressure. And by the way, the Arab Spring has only increased these trends. As the hypocrisy of the Iranian regime is exposed, and its ally the Assad regime is crumbling. Of course, so long as Iran fails to meet its obligations, this problem remains unresolved. The effective implementation of our policy is not enough. We must accomplish our objective. And in that effort, I firmly believe that an opportunity still remains for diplomacy backed by pressure to succeed. The United States and Israel both assess that Iran does not yet have a nuclear weapon. And we are exceedingly vigilant in monitoring their program. Now, the international community has a responsibility to use the time and space that exists. Sanctions are continuing to increase. And this July, thanks to our diplomatic coordination, a European ban on Iranian oil imports will take hold. Faced with these increasingly dire consequences, Iran's leaders still have the opportunity to make the right decision. They can choose a path that brings them back into the community of nations, or they can continue down a dead end. And given their history, there are, of course, no guarantees that the Iranian regime will make the right choice. But both Israel and the United States have an interest in seeing this challenge resolved diplomatically. After all, the only way to truly solve this problem is for the Iranian government to make a decision to forsake nuclear weapons. That's what history tells us. Moreover, as President and Commander-in-Chief, I have a deeply held preference for peace over war. I have sent men and women into harm's way. I've seen the consequences of those decisions in the eyes of those I meet who've come back gravely wounded. And the absence of those who don't make it home. Long after I leave this office, I will remember those moments as the most searing of my presidency. And for this reason, as part of my solemn obligation to the American people, I will only use force when the time and circumstances demand it. And I know that Israeli leaders also know all too well the costs and consequences of war. Even as they recognize their obligation to defend their country. We all prefer to resolve this issue diplomatically. Having said that, Iran's leaders should have no doubt about the resolve of the United States, just as they should. Not doubt Israel's sovereign right to make its own decisions about what is required to meet its security needs. I have said that when it comes to preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, I will take no options off the table, and I mean what I say. That includes all elements of American power, a political effort aimed at isolating Iran. A diplomatic effort to sustain our coalition and ensure that the Iranian program is monitored. An economic effort that imposes crippling sanctions, and, yes, a military effort to be prepared for any contingency. Iran's leaders should understand that I do not have a policy of containment. I have a policy to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. and as I have made clear time and again during the course of my presidency. I will not hesitate to use force when it is necessary to defend the United States and its interests. Moving forward, I would ask that we all remember the weightiness of these issues. The stakes involved for Israel, for America, and for the world. Already, there is too much loose talk of war. Over the last few weeks, such talk has only benefited the Iranian government. By driving up the price of oil, which they depend on to fund their nuclear program. For the sake of Israel's security, America's security. And the peace and security of the world, now is not the time for bluster. Now is the time to let our increased pressure sink in. And to sustain the broad international coalition we have built. Now is the time to heed the timeless advice from Teddy Roosevelt, speak softly, carry a big stick. And as we do, rest assured that the Iranian government will know our resolve. And that our coordination with Israel will continue. These are challenging times. But we've been through challenging times before. And the United States and Israel have come through them together. Because of our cooperation, citizens in both our countries have benefited from the bonds that bring us. Together. I'm proud to be one of those people. In the past, I've shared in this forum just why those bonds are so personal for me. The stories of a great uncle who helped liberate Buchenwald, to my memories of returning there with Elie Wiesel. From sharing books with President Paris to sharing seders with my young staff, in a tradition that started on the campaign trail and continues in the White House. From the countless friends I know in this room to the concept of Tikkun Olam that has enriched and guided my life. As Harry Truman understood, Israel's story is one of hope. We may not agree on every single issue, no two nations do. And our democracies contain a vibrant diversity of views. But we agree on the big things, the things that matter. And together, we are working to build a better world, one where our people can live free from fear. One where peace is founded upon justice, one where our children can know a future that is more hopeful than the present. There is no shortage of speeches on the friendship between the United States and Israel. But I'm also mindful of the proverb, a man is judged by his deeds, not his words. So if you want to know where my heart lies, look no further than what I have done to stand up for Israel. To secure both of our countries. And to see that the rough waters of our time lead to a peaceful and prosperous shore. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. God bless the people of Israel. God bless the United States of America. Barack Obama. Remarks in Alabama on the tornado devastation. Delivered April 29, 2011, Alberta, Alabama. Well, Michelle and I want to express, first of all, our deepest condolences to not just the city of Tuscaloosa, but the state of Alabama and all the other states that have been affected by this unbelievable storm. We just took a tour, and I've got to say I've never seen devastation like this. It is heartbreaking. We're just talking to some residents here who were lucky enough to escape alive, but have lost everything. They mentioned that their neighbors had lost 2 of their grandchildren in the process. What you're seeing here is the consequence of just a few minutes of this extraordinarily powerful storm sweeping through this community. And as the governor was mentioning, Tuscaloosa typically gets a tornado during the season. But this is something that I don't think anybody has seen before. In addition to keeping all the families who've been affected in our thoughts and prayers. Obviously, our biggest priority now is to help this community recover. I want to thank Mayor Maddox for his extraordinary leadership. Chief Burgess I know is having to dealing with a lot of difficulties. One of the challenges that the mayor was explaining is that the assets of the city of fire station that we passed on the way in. Police resources, emergency resources, those two have been affected. Fortunately, the governor has done an extraordinary job with his team in making sure that the resources of the state are mobilized and have been brought in here. I'm very pleased that we've got a FEMA director in Craig Fugate who is as experienced as anybody in responding to disasters even of this magnitude. And we've already provided the disaster designations. that are required to make sure that the maximum federal help comes here as quickly as possible. Craig is working with the teams on the ground to make sure that we are seamlessly coordinating between the state, local and federal governments. And I want to just make a commitment to the communities here that we are going to do everything we can to help these communities rebuild. We can't bring those who have been lost back. They're alongside God at this point. We can help maybe a little bit with the families dealing with the grief of having a loved one lost. But the property damage. Which is obviously extensive, that's something that we can do something about. And so we're going to do everything we can to partner with you, Mr. Mayor, with you, Governor. As the governor was pointing out, this community was hit as bad as any place. But there are communities all across Alabama and all across this region that have been affected. And we're going to be making that same commitment to make sure that we're doing whatever we can to make sure that people are okay. That be likes you. Governor Bentley, it's a wasp. The president, okay, got it? There you go. Governor Bentley, no, he got him away. You didn't get him. Mayor Maddox, where's the Secret Service when you need them? The president, finally, let me just say this. As you walk around, we were just talking to 3 young people over their college. Students here at the University of Alabama who are volunteering now to help clean up. One of the young ladies there, she actually lived in this apartment, wasn't here at the time the storm happened.